or the ocean. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm at the bottom of the ocean. Don't know if I'll make it back home.
Sagare gapagare gapada pagare ga sare
at the bottom of the ocean. I'm at the bottom of the sea. At the bottom of the ocean. Don't know if I'll make it back home.
Every single UPL week, I talk about Happy Monday. I always welcome everybody to Happy Monday, but we didn't stream yesterday, Scott. So I have to say, Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to week number 5. Things are a little bit weird on our back end. Teams are forfeiting right, left, and center. Welcome to Amateur Siege. You guys know this all too well. My name is Chief Gas, and golden hair boy over here, well, that's Mr. Scott.
Yeah, it's about to get lopped off fairly soon. Would have gone last week, ran out of time. Would have gone today or yesterday.
No, you're
but
not cutting
then,
that off, bro.
Yeah,
It's
I
too
really wish
luscious.
I could. It's too long. It's way too long, dude.
My
I can't
hair's too
control
long,
this,
too. That's why
and
I'm
then it doesn't want to
slicked
fill out
back.
this area because it just defies gravity here. So I have to like plop it down so it looks somewhat normal. Otherwise, I just have this like weird white space on my white forehead. You know, look at this.
Go
Like,
touch grass. I'll help you.
No, I just take vitamin D pills. It supplements the sunlight that I don't need.
Skip studio lights. It also helps.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not able to go out because I have the flu and a sinus infection, so I can't leave my apartment. But
I'm
you know, it
sorry
is
to
what
hear
it
that.
is.
Scott, I have the best medicine for you.
What is it?
It's our rosters. The teams that are playing today.
Ooh.
Team Arcane, Team Oblivion. Now, both of these rosters, one of them has been killing it. The other one, not so much. Unfortunately, Arcane has been unable to even win a single one of our play weeks. Now, I spoke to Clouds earlier before we went live today, Scott, and Clouds is once again having to find 3 substitutes 10 minutes before the game goes live. Hate to say it, you're not going to be beating Momo Super Rat with that type of play.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to look about this one here, Chief. When you've got a player that's scrambling to find somebody to please help him try to win a game, may not be the play. But we know what Arcane's about. We know what Clouds is about. We've seen him almost upset the Surf roster, right? I mean, and that was with Poison involved with it. So
Correct.
we've almost saw that. We almost saw that. But they were also saving strats for that finals for SFCL that week. But the opposing side is they will actually have, I assume, the majority of the roster, if not all, Popstone at Momo Red X Stars. It's that Momo Red squad. And really and truly, we can give our guesstimations here early. The subs are a great indicator for how this one will probably go, but I'm sure that they're going to have a fun pub little stack. Maybe it'll be enough to throw Oblivion off guard.
Wait, Momo is retired from comp. He got a big raise at his real life job. He actually touches grass.
No way.
And he apparently got a big I think I saw that earlier on Twitter. So no more Momo Super Rat. He's getting his bag elsewhere. So congrats on him. So, maybe it's gonna be the battle of the substitutes today, Reese. Or not Reese. Scott, I'm so used to Reese.
Because
You did that last week with John. You did that
It is
last week a couple
true. We
weeks
do
ago
make
with
this
John.
mistake.
So I made fun of you. So what comes around goes around. I'm just gonna call you luscious hair man all day.
There we
Screw
go.
it.
And I'll call you gray hair man. So.
That's fine.
Well,
We're gonna bring up our map bans while he dies in the background.
Yes, please. We can talk a little bit about this one. From the glimpses that I've heard, the curse is true, and that's exactly what it is. It's gonna be the tried. It's gonna be the tried and true. We're going all the way over to Oregon. Okay, I couldn't see Clubhouse for a second. Clubhouse almost made it as well. We were fairly close, but at the very least, I'm thankful that Oblivion bans out Cafe, even though that may make you pretty upsetty spaghetti, considering you hate Oregon with a fire-burning passion. But I hate Cafe just a little bit more.
I'm okay with not seeing either one of those maps. We did see Arcane have that very solid game against Surf here on Oregon. So at least they have a track record of almost success. And again, that was the game where Arcane, they took 4 to 5 rounds off Surf. And before the previous week, Surf had only dropped 3 rounds in total. So Arcane completely doubled the loss record, at least the round loss record of Surf. So Arcane, they've had moments of brilliance. And I would love to be able to see Team Arcane with more than 2 of their actual main roster in the server, because it would be a completely different game. It'd be a different team, truly.
Now you were running around the cesspool of ranked earlier today, so I mean maybe your pub stack would be about the same level. Maybe we just sub out Team Arcane and then just send in the full whatever your Discord name squad is. We'll call them the loser squad because I know half the people in there, and that's really what we were. But everyone that's
We
hanging
weren't
out
high enough
there,
elo to play though.
yeah, it's don't make fun of me like that. I don't even play. It is what it is. Did you see today that somebody got the sneak peek? There was a permanent warm up playlist added in, and there's TDM in testing.
And capture the
grounds.
flag, they said too.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like what?
Uh-oh. Oh,
no.
oh, it's already
Oh
popping.
no.
To be fair, I haven't seen a Zoe ban ever, other than when you want to remove somebody who completely slaughters. And if we go over to the Oblivion roster, who are you actually target banning here, Scott? Because
Momo?
I think everybody could probably play Zoe LMGE entry. Oh, Thatcher, look.
He's on the board. He's on the board. We'll get to see him.
I
We're
guess you can
finally
say that
here.
I wished upon a next star.
All right, I'm leaving. Last time I saw a Zofia ban was Project Eris, and it was a target ban. It didn't work out. They still got slaughtered 7-2, but target bans can work sometimes. You just have to have the rest of the team match up to kind of supplement the target ban, but I don't know. This is a weird ban phase. Valkyrie and Mawai, not too strange. The floor is not exactly the strangest, but Thatcher being left on the board and Amira being left on the board will add a plethora of options, so to say, for the attackers and defenders to throw a wrench in the works, or as Grace likes to say, a spanner in the works. That's another Project Eris reference. We like to make fun of her accent, but
Man,
we'll have to
having
see.
European duos is incredible. There's so
It's
many
super
colloquialisms that they
entertaining.
say.
Yeah. I'm always like, I'm the type of caster that steals the vocabulary of my co-casters, right? That's
I
like
do
what I
too.
do. I try to like soak up as much information as I can. Do that watching, Pro League majors, whatever it comes down to. Except for your cast. I don't listen to your cast. Literally, it's just way not helpful.
You're stuck with me.
Unfortunately. But I cannot steal Chris's vocabulary. There's just no way I could pull out spanner in the works like casually in a sentence. There's no way I could do any of those.
Gaffer tape.
Gaffers is another one. What's another one? She likes to talk about crumpets sometimes and like biscuits, and I'm like, what? Like, how do you find the time to bring this into a conversation? How do you manage to bring this to a point? Like,
I want to return back to the Turf game with Arcane, where we saw them really succeed on attack. That's where Arcane is best. Now, common wisdom would say, oh, we're going against Team Oblivion, a star-studded, entry-heavy roster. And now, common wisdom would say, Team Arcane's in the perfect spot. They're on defense first. They have 6 rounds guaranteed to hold their fort down. Unfortunately, Scott, I don't think that's the advantage for Team Arcane at all, because they're the team that likes to be on attack. They want to have Clouds and Ranks have that extra flexibility on attack to deal with their roam player, which is, again, it's mind-blowing to think about that some teams are coordinated enough to be able to deal with aggressive roams, but not be coordinated enough on their own roam to be able to stop an attack. And Scott, what that comes down to is the way Team Arcane likes to play. They like to have these single roams, and I've actually been talking to Clouds one-on-one about how to improve their roam, and it's going to start with something similar to what they're doing right now, making sure that they always have this buddy system, because they get picked off by players like Momo Super Rat, who actually happens to be in the server. So I guess he hasn't fully retired.
he's not out of the picture just yet, but he's going to make his way. He's heading towards the security corridor, and unfortunately, Rags will come up. It's that Rags to Riches stories, and it's going to be very successful. Still leaving that player. Actually, they'll drop down 2 as well through Hatch. They're going to abandon security early. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Can I say how much I'm annoyed about the new changes to the way players get kills? Because Clouds technically has that kill because he was the one that put them down. Yeah, so, like, we see, like, the thing is, when Momo dropped, he was still technically standing. So what that looks like is the DBNO state happens while you're standing, so you do fall DBNO. So in theory, you could still see the attacker or defender upright and get slammed by it. Wow, Cloud's is actually slamming a third, maybe. Oh, he's aggressive on this. Forced to go to the Barrack 9, and he will confirm that third kill. That's also the diffuser now isolated up above, and Pops is now going to have to deal with this. Man, it's just Cloud City.
Clouds is a menace right now, literal menace to society, and it does not seem to matter. Oblivion, well, the rest of their roster has really gone to Oblivion. Non-existent, no longer of this world. It's just red, trapped over by security corridor, and it's going to either tease towards Z, head towards main, or head down Freezer Staircase. We can see that right here. A bit methodical. You've still got 5 people to work with. A flawless round may be in the books, but with red being the last player standing, well, Chief, things don't necessarily look to be the brightest. It's just going to be a matter of methodically moving forward and denying any chance of the ace, and will do that emphatically. Finds 2. 3 players left, but Rags searches that corner, swings it very aggressively and finds the kill, cleaning ourselves up for another neat round here in round 1. Yeah, that was an interesting start there, Chief, for Team Arcane.
It was Team Arcane just honestly taking gunfights and Team Oblivion just not really prepared for it. I never once saw a drone other than the death of Momo. And Momo had 2 drones there, identified the top part of the freezer stairs as well as security. Momo probably got a little bit too antsy there. He should have been recalled and stopped pushing because that's a 1 attacker and 180 crossfire. And Momo is just simply not going to win that gunfight. Great player, great entry, but you're not going to win against that. So he puts himself in a bad spot. What Momo needs to do in that scenario is fall back and then have his teammates push in through kitchen. And now you have your own crossfire on that player in security. Now, of course, Clouds had access to the hatch and he would have dropped probably if pressure came anyways, but at least you're doing something other than just challenging those 1v2s. It's very difficult to do. And then after that, Team Oblivion just kind of walks down the laundry stairs and meets the shotgun of Clouds. I mean, Clouds played it great. He put himself in the right spot and he ate up, finding 4 kills. That's good, especially if you're Team Arcane, who have been really frustrated with the way that they've been roaming. They roam as a team, and surprise, Scott, they won as a team.
How else do you win, Chief? Really and truly, do you win as a solo player? Clouds
Yes.
almost did it.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
If you see a single game of Collegiate,
Yeah. I take that back.
actually
Clouds-
half these games that we cast in amateur, like somebody or like an ECC, man, like somebody goes nuclear. And ECC is a low-level Collegiate Rainbow Six League, or they host for lower level.
It is very interesting to watch sometimes. Sometimes you get a game where it's just nobody knows, and sometimes you get Braxy for the Ottawa. I can't remember their name. The Ottawa University just pops
Is that
off
the
and goes,
Ottawa
like,
in
29
Canada, or the
something.
Ottawa in like Idaho or something?
Idaho, I think. I don't think it's the Canada Ottawa, unfortunately. But love Braxy to death, Noah Myro, met him at a LAN event. He's super chill, dude. I've worked with him before as well. Yeah, sometimes you get that one player that goes off nuclear on certain maps. But obviously, round 1 was that for Clouds. That's up spectacularly. Now rotating over and playing Legion. Having those goo mines can allow for an extra level of assistance for information, but at the same time, Oblivion's just wanting to walk forward. Momo maybe really did get the job. Now it's just tossing these first 2 rounds as they try to step in the security corridor the last time around with no information to supplement. This time going forward once again with the Ash and Dice first. An entry fragger needs to frag here, Chief. We're just not seeing that really happen for them. Second kill now to drop. It's going to be Rags who finds yet another kill, this time onto Evan. And it's really and truly been Clouds and Rags that have been the forefront runners for Team Arcane, but Dusty's now not far behind, having collected one of their own, and is still alive inside bottom drop of Attic, ready to continue to find more kills as they try to push it to the trophy room.
The meeting room site, bomb site, brought in a different rotation seems to be breaking the minds of Oblivion. They're just struggling to push upstairs. I mean, they're doing a dorms execute, which is all fine and dandy. You do need to do something very similar on this tertiary bomb site, but you also then have to take that middle floor control, and Team Oblivion has been stuck in the mud. Oh, Pops! He runs out of ammo, 22 bullets in the mag. That ARX does mag dump really quickly. And that's why we see a lot of players gravitate towards that AK, because it allows you to have 42 bullets in the mag. So it just comes down to preference, but the ARX also lasers. Now, Oblivion, with upstairs control, they now have access to the meeting room hatch. That's going to be one of the areas which they take these gunfights from. They actually have both hatches now, Scott, but that's not enough, because you have to flash and drop. There's the drop. Donut goes deep, pops quickly from behind, but he's also going to be felled. That was a haphazard round where the attacker just kind of, well, fall dead.
Is that a joke on the little fact they fell through hatch and then died immediately afterwards, or was that just coincidental?
It's because they all just drop through hatch, or they just
All right.
walk up and fall flat on their face because
Momo.
there's no information.
Sorry, I was supposed to cough first and then say Momo. Let me try that again. Momo. Yeah. Momo has literally walked into these last 2 rounds and has unfortunately walked themselves just as quickly into the afterlife. It's not been what they necessarily want to do, but you kind of focused and highlighted the fact that for that meeting room hold, when you're talking about that first floor objective, typically known as your tertiary objective, you do need to take control of dorms on the second floor. It's basically attempting to take the second floor objective as is with extra steps and a little less defense, so you still need to attack it methodically. And we saw that be implemented, but Momo didn't really have anyone behind him to back him up on that entry. He didn't even attempt to burn the ADSs around the corner, and then you see Dusty, who's holding there, not just find the successful kill into Momo, but find the second as well into Evan. And that's going to start to swing things more and more in favor for Team Arcane, if that's what we see happen once again. Master Bedroom was left to the open. That's something you usually do as a defensive team. You really and truly just hold that attic side, or maybe you sit and hold inside of the kids' room. But ultimately, you don't stress as much of the second floor as you would here, as we're going to continue to see. You can see a lot of the util being placed, reinforced walls going down, a frost mat as well being implemented on drop of attic, and you're probably going to see a couple players play a bit more aggressively inside trophy itself. Typically with a shield, we see Ozone with it still in the pocket. Not sure where Ozone is going to implement and place that one down. I would expect either in the attic door to allow for assistance towards trophy door, or maybe in trophy room itself. Either way, should be fairly useful for them, but it's got to be actually placed. There we go. Finally implementing and using the shield in their pocket, but it doesn't seem to matter. Donut gets up onto the landing, tries to enter into the master bedroom side, throws the drone, and then throws their life off the cliff, as it is a very successful swing in the FO12 by Clouds.
Is Clouds' name Cloud Super Rat?
Maybe.
He's starting to get to that point. I also noticed that Clouds, it's just condensation of H2O, and then you have ozone, which is O3. So you really got the oxygen squad. And I
really wish that you didn't know these things and you didn't have them as available points to bring up. Like,
there's no way you don't know
anymore,
that
Chief.
ozone is O3.
I know that. I know that. Especially since you just said it.
Well,
but
I was going to
don't want to have to learn
how bad
no,
oxygen
Momo!
was doing. Momo's alive, though!
How are you alive?
He survived!
Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous.
Oh,
Momo tries to swing, and how are you alive? They still have the nades up.
It's a
Rags
super rat.
lives through it. Chief, what's happening?
This is just a weird game, man. I mean, Team Arcane is ratting. Team Oblivion is making silly plays. Red X is lost in the sauce. Momo is low HP. Pops is also DB a node. And now it's just Momo, insecurity, prone. We're going to call this, what, 3 HP, 4 HP, and 5 players to find. Ratio. I didn't ask.
You literally
No,
wait, did he just break the hatch? And it just happened to be there.
Can we get a wall hack check on?
Okay, all right, Clouds. You got that overhanging aerial view. What are you, the observer? You know where everyone is? Jeez, Clouds.
Well,
this has turned into something else here, Chief.
I guess Clouds took what I said very literally when I said if you want to work on how to IGL, you have to be able to see all 10 players' perspectives in the lobby, which includes himself, plus the observer for the 11-man perspective. And apparently he really listened.
You
no,
really?
Clouds. Clouds. No.
Oh, I mad respect it. Caviar is good. It's the same shotgun in the Thunderbird, right?
Of course, yeah. I'm not saying that like the shotgun is bad.
anyways.
Scott, I'm trying to imply that I don't think Oblivion is going to be able to make the same mistakes they've been doing over and over again. Like,
you say that, but they've done it 3 rounds in a row here, Chief.
But Oblivion is a very competent roster, and they're just not demonstrating. Like, I don't know if they aren't showing up today, if they're not respecting Arcane enough, or if they're just memeing because Momo is getting his bag in his professional career outside of Rainbow. Like, it just seems like Oblivion isn't taking things seriously because they're making really basic mistakes that they haven't done all 5 weeks. I mean, Oblivion is second. I just want to point that out, right? Oblivion is second with the 3-1 record, so.
Yeah, I think Team Arcane's looking to not be handed another bag here. I think they're trying to find their own bag, so to say. They haven't won a single game, right? I think you spoke about that at the beginning. Like, they're hungry now. They've got 2 subs to help and assist them, and those 2 subs haven't really been like the players, so just except for Dusty, who showed up in round 2 and then once in round 3. But beyond that, it's really just been the mainline roster of Arcane, mostly Clouds and Rags, but still, I mean, success is success. It's not strip it away from them in any way whatsoever. But speaking of success, Clouds still on the Caviar. What else do you expect? The roam game that was being implemented towards the rear stage, that was the player Woos once again. We saw that attempted as well in round 1. It will be flushed out this time successfully by the Oblivion roster, as they are not losing their life inside Z, inside of Security Corridor. And that's probably the most successful we've seen from them so far. but there are 2 players ready to make that flank, and this is not going to be a quiet flank whatsoever if it's needed to use the impact to do it.
Or the
But
shotgun.
if they do drop onto this hatch, this could be huge, but Rags does not win the fight. Donut makes the great escape, and now does not have a donut on their kill feed.
That was actually a really smart play. So we see the shotgun open up the hatch and the impact grenade open up the tower portion. So it was a complete bait and switch. So Team Arcane double swung that engagement, and that's how that trade came forward. That's actually well coordinated. And again, we talked about Team Arcane. They were coming into this week 5 struggling with their ability to play defense, and all of a sudden they're playing completely different. And once again, poor Momo Super Rat, first death for the offense. He has been struggling. He has yet to be able to find a kill. Now, we're not quite sub 60 seconds yet, Scott, so there's still plenty of time for Oblivion to set up their offense. They still have those, well, coveted Thatcher EMP, something that you just never see in a comp match, and that's actually going to break down that bunker setup, because you could just throw an EMP, turn off that utility, and then whip a nade.
There's still the Vulcan shield, though, which can allow for them to, shoot it down and give themselves a little bit of extra space, which would allow for the UMP not to be able to do that much, but they're now losing more people. Red's out for the count, and now they've lost the EMPs. Dusty with the Vector, a bit too much to contend with, and Woos is along the same angle. It's just Pops left standing. I think Pops is trapped over inside of Bunker, still over towards this barrel room, and doesn't really know where they need to head to. Chief, this looks to be a lost cause once again for the Oblivion roster. 24 seconds in a dream, but unfortunately, this dream is turning out to be a nightmare. You've got 4 people looking down the barrel of their gun, knowing exactly where you lie, and if they don't know where you are specifically, they know where the diffuser is, and that's basically going to be all she wrote in that aspect. Woos is watching from the boiler room door. Got the players sitting inside Bunker themselves. Dusty's holding somewhat close to the objective, and they'll just play for time. They'll let it sleep out. No need to worry about pushing. Don't ruin the KD, so to say here, Chief. And maybe it's just time for them to think about what's happening. Where is this Team Arcane awakened from? Because they've come out here with a vengeance. It's 4-0. There's only 2 rounds left in this half.
Team Oblivion, you just need a roam clear. At this point, auto-lock a Jackal and clear out every single nook and cranny of this map, because you're going back over to meeting room. You know that for a fact off the bomb site rotation. I guess you could lock in dorms to mix things up, but that seems to be not what most North American teams are going to be electing to do. And you have to just shut down Clouds. You have to shut down Rags in some way, because that tandem roam is quite oppressive right now to Oblivion. And if that Jackal is 6th, you're now going to have extra flexibility to deal with it, because Team Oblivion simply isn't droning. Sure, they drone out T3. Sure, they drone out T2, T1, and then they try to go for their North Stairs execute. That's all fine and dandy, Scott. But it didn't matter, because they get flanked through tower, and that brilliant play from Rags and Clouds where they shoot the hatch with the shotgun. Clouds does that, and then impacts through the attic wall, and all of a sudden Team Oblivion doesn't know what's going on, because they just assume that the hatch is the problem.
We saw the combo, the coordination in that last round. You spoke about it. I spoke about it. It happened, right? Was it Rags and Clouds comboing in their attempt to find the early kill? It didn't work out. They lost one. They lost Rags. I think who it was. I know it was at least Clouds, and the Cloud steps up big to find the second player, Momo. But the coordination has been a huge difference here right now for Team Arcane. That's something we haven't noticed as much. You said you talked to them personally about their roam game and having that double roam to have that backup and assistance in those engagements, and that can be a huge factor. Typically when a roamer is alone, that's how you see the game. That's how you competitively play it. But with that extra player behind, with that extra assistance, it's just an extra level of help added on top. It's like, it's something that Oblivion's roster just hasn't really been prepped for. And Momo's anticipating a one-on-one engagement, and like we saw in round 1 in Security Corridor, it wasn't. 2 people from both sides, Clouds and Rags, once again just pounding the hurt down. The FO12, and I believe it was the 416C in round 1, too much to fight against. And it was a Spaz 12 in round 1, who's also rocking the Thunderbird. It's just too much, and I love the coordination. I love the comboing. That's exactly what you need to have in this, and they're really taking your words here to heart.
Momo's in the basement, solo lurking, no drone once again, and Momo is either going to make a hero play or a 0 play, and that's the only option. And another hero 0 play is Donuts entry into Trophy. Scott, Why? Why is Donut just walking here with no help? I mean, Ozone is right around the corner. It's a free kill for Ozone. I mean, that's a dumb play. Like, Oblivion looks defeated. Honestly, I hate to say that. Hey, there's a 0 play for Momo. He finds one, is traded instant. Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow.
How spread out was this entire play in this map? And just as spread as Oblivion is, Arcane was just as spread, Chief. You can see that by the fact that no players were near each other in that engagement, and all three of the last kills that happened instantaneously at the same time, baby, like 0.5 milliseconds in the process, right? All separated in different locations on the map. Team Arcane spreads themselves thin, but they're winning the fights, and that's the difference.
But yeah, you're right. They're winning their fights, but I don't think the fights are the problem for Oblivion necessarily. It's the positions that they're putting themselves in. Like Team Arcane, while they're up 5 rounds, they're kind of winning it because of, I hate to say it, really stupid plays. Like Donut pushing in through Trophy. Like, that's weird. He's yeah, Momo, I think you've died every single time, bud.
Yeah.
Like, Clouds has your number, my friend. It's sad to see.
That's true.
Oh,
Dusty did
thank
kill.
You, Dusty, for that
round
information.
2, yeah. I was gonna call that out, but
again,
then I was like, "Was it this game?"
Momo's. Can you say that Momo's head's in the clouds since he has his big boy job now?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. I think Momo's just more annoyed that the shotguns are really good. We joked about this on the DB No Charity stream. I cast. I don't want to say I had to cast. I cast with Frazier. Love Frazier. And he talked about how there is a player he casts that is called the Titan Killer. We got to see her play, actually. I just can't remember her name for some reason. I'm insane about it. But using the FO12, the Ella shotgun and the Great Assistance, he called her the Titan Killer because that shotgun was deadly. Where they play those rat angles, which is what Team Arcane has been. I think we can all agree with that. They're being the rat watch a little bit more than Oblivion has been, but the shotguns are nasty, and it's not just been the FO12. We saw that only like once here from Clouds. It's really been those Spaz 15s. I think what they are. It's not the Spaz 12, right?
Spaz 15,
Spaz 15
gun, yeah.
in this, yeah.
Spaz 12 is Valks.
Yeah. See, I'm always like, it's not the Spaz 15 or Spaz 12 because Spaz 12 is from Modern Warfare. So I try not to, attribute it to real gun. But Spaz 15 can be deadly, but it's not that bad. But I'll tell you who can't be deadly, apparently, Momo. 1 kill, 6 deaths. All but one of those has been the first death in this game.
Please, everybody, F in chat for Momo's Super Red. The kills on the side of Oblivion is, again, this is a really high-level roster. I think if we were to look at ranked stats, Oblivion, I think, is everybody's in champ. And Clouds and Dusty are the only champs on the side of Team Arcane. Uh-oh, Clouds.
Oh, my God. Oh, it
Clouds,
pops his 2
stop.
HP.
Clouds, stop!
They have families, please. Oh my goodness.
He's down.
Clouds, they
He's
know who
been
the last person
silenced.
is now.
He's been stopped.
Oh, he just picked himself up. Walk to the gumball, quick.
He's
that
been
revive
stopped. He's been stopped. He's not stopped. He's not stopped.
He's got a nitro as well. He can just play this one really close angles. Just pray. Like, he doesn't even need to peek with the shotgun. It's not even a necessity at this point. It's ridiculous.
Oh, no. I mean, if he dies this nade, that's such an F. Like, it's so bad.
Just
That's another F in
bad
chat.
luck on Evan right now.
No, Evan's a great player, man. He has 4 targets to fight. Cloud's on low HP, so the superstar player, I mean, he dies to 1-5-5-6 round in L8. Oh, nice headshot for Evan, but he's now on low HP himself. He won't be able to remove or pull out his SMG-11 since that has been removed from his person, now in favor of a pistol. And Clouds, the menace to society, is healing with gumball stations. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's resetting it. Does that work?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's insane. That's actually insane. So there is a use to have actively alive your Thunderbird. It's not just a, it shouldn't be used at least as a place in
You see the
hit.
feet?
You see the legs, please, Evan! Oh my goodness, it's over. All right, Rax finds the last kill. Evan managed to stop it and get one more on the top, but it's just a consolation kill. The first shot doesn't go anywhere. Klaus just swings the corner.
Always look on the bright side of life.
There is no bright side here.
Always look on the bright side of life. Nobody gets to that reference, bro.
Yeah, not anyone was born in the 1950s like you, Chief.
Do you actually not know that reference?
I know that reference.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
It's like reading Rainbow too. Like we're not all. Everyone knows
Actually,
the
I don't know why I'm
references. We just
asking
don't
you
like.
if,
We weren't
if you know that
watching
reference because you actually are quite cultured and you have a
them.
lot.
I do
of
have a
knowledge.
history. I was a 90s kid. I was born in 99, but like my family didn't like jump to the 2000s when we did because we already had like kids before. So like I just grew up on those hand-me-downs and all those shows. So you know,
Okay,
that's what you get for having siblings.
born in the
You call
90s.
me a boomer? That's just the guy says you. All right. I'm about to. Did we end this one? Arcane, can you be kind? I want to get away from him. Oh my god. Yes, I was talking about Shiro with the FO12. Thank you very much, Tofu, who just DM'd me on Discord and asked the question. Apparently he's watching this, and we don't lose at least one of you out there.
The last time that we saw Clouds on Blitz,
Didn't he die instantly?
No,
in
he
barrel?
was in that 1v4 and he whiffed from the guy.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
I was ironically the last time that I banged my desk.
He
So
remembers
Clouds-
that. This
Clouds
dent right
bring-
here was Clouds.
Clouds brings the worst out of me, man. I've only banged my desk twice on broadcast, and it's both because of Clouds.
Well, at least now you got a mic that has a built-in shock mount, so you know maybe we won't hear it
True.
as much. You know, maybe it's just going bong.
At this point, I probably destroyed my mic from the peak, or from screaming at the Cade's feet being spotted.
That's true. Now I'll let you on some information for the sure.
What's up?
You can absolutely destroy this thing by like peeking it, but not like break it. I mean like when you're building high up and like yelling into it, you don't really need to move that much.
That's why I
You can,
went
like,
the
slightly
RH20
step
because I
away,
could destroy
but,
it.
you know.
I could just hit the gain and it would just never
Just
go anywhere.
straight sprint into it. Let me just boot my cloud lifter up to 100 real fast and just
All
spend
right.
the next rest of this couch
Clouds is
just
in.
screaming.
Clouds
Oh, he's
is
in.
sending
He's
it,
dead.
and Clouds is dead. Good job, Clouds. That was a play. Dusty's also DB'd. Rags will be able to get that trade, but the roster's now neutralizing. It's a full sin, though. Team Arcane obliterated in the first 45 seconds of the round. They barely even stepped foot in the darn basement. Scott, like, where do they go?
To the next round. That's what it seems like here, Chief. I mean, they all sprint in through bunker. I'm just shocked they found 2 kills on top of it. At the very least, Clouds, you should have burned or attempted to burn the toxic babes first, right? That was your ultimate undoing. You get kind of funneled in that direction, and the toxic babes just dish out a ton of damage, cause you to be a little bit slower when tagging that damage, and then you're having to sprint through it because of your own safety, which means Dusty can just lie down prone. Sorry, not Dusty. Oh, who was it that was lying down? Was it Momo? Who was it?
At this point, I don't even know.
I think it was Donut. I think that's why I was saying D's. Yeah, he just shoots the legs because you're forced to sprint through it. You're going to take more damage otherwise. You're kind of just stuck in a bad spot. Like, think twice about it. Get rid of what you can before just rushing in, because the rush isn't going to work unless the rest of your team just cleans up what you couldn't, which they did. But unfortunately, you know, you still can't clean up the round. 3 players left standing. An easy 3-0 cleanup for the rest of Oblivion.
So glad you took the color for that section, because I would have been less lenient. I would have said, dumb play, stop blitz rushing. It hasn't worked for you once, Clouds. You've got smoked both times. Actually, he 1v4'd and found 3 kills, but he completely whiffed on a flash player during that surf game, so he doesn't get to that point today. It's upstairs, and I have good news, Scott. It looks like a normal lineup, and normal with buck and play. That's awesome. That's now going to be Team Arcane, most likely prioritizing that first floor, using that buck skeleton key to soften up mini dorms. And if you've seen any of the new patch notes recently or hopped on the technical test server, you can see that small dorms has actually changed. I guess the red beds that are in the small dorms have all changed, so you can't look through them, you can't really stand on them anymore, you can't get like pixel peeks, so I guess the ways of the really aggressive angles there are over. And Clouds was in that position.
So was the buck.
Yeah, Buck's not even pushing below. What is Buck doing? Why are you taking that? You have utility. Use your utility. Why bring
We
the
saw the same thing
operator?
last time for Oblivion, right? Where the Thatcher didn't ever get to Thatcher, you know? Loses the live and the EMP before. I think we saw, what, 2 ever thrown in that? And neither of them really did anything. So it's not really that good. There's that shield that's placed. I talked about that last time. I said I wanted to see Ozone placed that shield there, and we didn't get to see it. Instead, they think they placed it inside the like more aggressive position, actually inside the dome itself and not in that attic door. Both can work, but I just find that want an attic to be a nicer way for information. There it is. Yeah, they've got the second one as well. So they're actually doing both. And that's the boon of actually bringing a Goyo. You can have a plethora of those shields to sit behind. But like Pops is now noticing, once those shields are cleared, you are also cleared for at least a few more seconds afterwards as the flames lay waste to the floor below you.
Momo's about to live up to his name, Scott. Tuck close to the pre-made breach. If he just sits here, has good trigger discipline, he should be able to find one. Team Arcane, well, they're not taking things particularly seriously, so they're not going to drone. This might be a huge oversight. Plus, Dusty might not be able to get this trade since the Assyria gate in front of him has been reset. There's a lot that Team Arcane still needs to do. Here's a swing from Ozone. He's just checking his quarters, but he's not checking enough. There's a trigger discipline. There's the kill. The fuse is now isolated. Dusty needs to go, but Momo will find his secondary follow-up. It's now all on two members of Team Arcane, Dusty and Clouds. I don't know what's going to come of them, but they have to do something. You have to get rid of Momo. There's the kill we need. Finally, it takes place.
Hopefully this will be enough to swing things forward. With only Clouds and Dusty left standing, I mean, there's a couple of problems still to go. Red's holding over towards the White Stairs itself. Evan's sitting on site somewhere. They'll clear the Surya gates and allow for them to have a bit of a swifter entry. Evan's also holding in this direction. A bit too much emphasis that way, but Red's made the rotation, and it'll be Donut that's actually sitting in the back of the site with that Shamika launcher and the DP-27. Also a shield in his hands. Why hasn't it been placed? I'm not too sure, but would have been nice for them to place that and have that one ready. And here comes the plant, all of them peeking at the same time, and now they're just going to walk in his face and finish the job. Evan, the toyer, the destroyer, as you would say, just taunting the opponent as it really and truly is. Finishing that one off just as quick once it started to pick up the pace in the last few moments. Chief, yikes. We saw an extra shield. We didn't really get to see the Shamika used. It doesn't seem to matter. Evan cleans up, but a much more methodical approach to the attack, but it didn't really amount to that much.
I don't know if I'm going to be as kind as calling it methodical, because with
I said a
Blues
much
opening
more methodical. Everything is more methodical than a blitz rush here, Chief.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, yes, if you go from 0.00001% methodical to 1%, that's a large change in being methodical. But
It
it's
is.
not
That is
significant.
literally a huge percentile difference.
It's a huge change, and it probably is significant if we're talking
That's cryptocurrency
statistics-wise.
increase numbers, dude.
That is true. But it doesn't matter. Like, you still lose. So, like, you might be investing in Squid Coin, and you're not able to sell it because Team Arcane was unable to sell any of their shares during the previous
They liquidated too soon. They rug pulled. They
didn't liquidate at all. They kept it in their pocket, and then the stock completely tanked, and it went to valueless.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
listen, you're not making gains until you actually pull it out. There is no gain until you actually
That's
pull it
true.
out and see that money in your wallet.
That's
I've made
true.
that mistake, saved too long, lost belt. $600 on one coin one time. I still made huge
Don't
profits.
invest
Still
in
made like 4
crypto. I
times
don't
what I
condone
did.
it.
If you know what you're doing, it's the same thing with stocks. Just like
Everybody pretends like they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I got lucky. I'll openly say
Statistically,
that.
you can't beat the S&P 500. That's investment advice. It's really.
All right. What's your investment advice? You've been on this planet for 65 long
S&P
years.
500, bro. Average percent, or if you analyze it over the course of its lifetime, it's about 6.7%. You're finding very few securities able to match that.
There you go. See?
That's
I
a
have
financial
friends-
advisor speaking, by the way, guys. A legit one.
That's true.
An
You
actually
are a
trade
financial
one.
advisor. That is true, actually. He does
Hey,
actually have a real
let
life
me tell
job
you,
as
if
well.
my we can't talk. We're moving on. I don't think we're allowed to talk about investments on stream. We got to talk about
Why?
woos.
Why not?
It's one of those like unspoken rules, man, where you might be giving advice to people. Like
This is not financial advice. Let's state that. First.
Yeah, it's most certainly not financial advice. We cannot be giving financial advice on a UPL broadcast. The fact that I'm allowed to give Siege coaching advice on a financial
It's already a
financial
blue-
cast.
absolute lawbreaker in the first place.
Oh, Momo's breaking jaws though. Again. He is all right. Hey, you know what? He went from 1-5 to 6-5. All right, no wait. I'm losing my mind.
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Yeah, I was looking at Dusty because I'm so used to seeing him on Ash.
I was looking at Donut. I'm so used to seeing him dead.
Momo is Ash. Momo is Ash on every roster that he plays. Like he switches teams. He can only play. Wow.
Wow.
Goodbye, Momo.
Good night, bozo. 3v3 here, Chief. A minute and 30 remaining. This has been a interesting approach so far. Wu steps up. Was that with the skeleton key?
Didn't sound like it.
Was that the shoddy at range to do it?
It didn't sound like it. The skeleton key has that deep bass sound.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
it
think you
sounded
may be
it sounded like the actual rifle. The skeleton key stands out in the background noise of Siege. Clouds has been quiet. You know, Clouds hasn't got a kill for a few rounds. He was sitting on that 12 mark at the end of round 5. He wasn't able to find a kill in round 7, so that means his kills are coming from rounds 8 and rounds 9. So that's not what you want from your superstar player. Now 2v2, and it's discombobulation from Team Arcane. They're just not really pushing together as a team, Scott, and they're honestly walking around the map, sometimes accomplishing a kill, and then other times dying. It's really just mix and match and hope that you win gunfights.
It's the definition of random, right? It's just random placements, random locations they're pushing around from. They're like, oh, we'll go towards security corridor, and then we'll say, nah, I'm going to assist you in security corridor. I'll go up through security itself, up on the second floor, and clear the floorboards. But you're already dead by then because you got a little bit too close to checking that corner, and you get checked instead. Just not really great working together, not great coordination. I mean, what do you expect? It's 2 players left standing, and I think they were both the subs, if I'm incorrect, or at least one of them was the subs. That is Wu's. So their coordination was obviously not expected to be at the same level as what you would see for like your mainline roster, but we also saw little to no coordination from the Oblivion side in their entire attacking half here, Chief. So there's not much more to say about it, but we've also not really seen much from Arcane's attacking half. This is the definition of pure chaos when it comes to the attack. It is just throwing everything but the kitchen sink, and throwing everything probably with the kitchen sink, as we've seen some very offshoot picks being done, as well as the blitz shield thrown in the mix occasionally. None of it's really worked out for Arcane. None of it on the attack worked for Oblivion. It's just been a defensive whole game. But Arcane's in a position where they can wait for Oblivion to make 1 or 2 mistakes and then act on those mistakes, and it's over. Because they took that 6-0 at that time, Oblivion has to play an essentially flawless half. It doesn't actually have to be that flawless because Arcane's definitely not playing flawless, but an essentially flawless half for them if they want to secure themselves a W when it comes to this game, no matter how slim those odds may seem.
Well, you talked about throwing everything in the kitchen sink with Clouds now electing for Ying. Well, that's the operator that's going to throw the Candelas, the smoke grenades, and the bathroom sink. Because, I mean, they're the chief operating utility officer for the attacking side. And you're going to have to do significant utility burn as well. You're bringing 2 sets of flashbangs. I know it's lying to you. The overlay always lies. There are not 3 sets of flashbangs. There's only 6 currently in play. The overlay just likes to add an additional set of utility. Don't know why. That needs to be changed. But at least it's telling you, honestly, that there is a single set of nades and a single set of flat place charges. Now, those flat place charges of Ash, of Dusty, it's not really going to matter all that much. Momo droned and dealt with. This is the most coordination, and this is the only roam clear, so thus the best roam clear that we've seen all day.
That is true.
Thumbs up.
Double thumbs up. Positive. We're here to be kind for maybe the first time in this one, to give some positives to one side or the other. Yeah, there has not been much roam clear. Team Arcane brought what, 2 guaranteed every round, 3 or 4 in a lot of the rounds, and anything that Oblivion brought to the table was just snuffed out, right? I mean, Arcane was random. They were I guess coordinated, but kind of not coordinated. They're just rats. I think that's the way to describe it, and we said that. They were living up to the rat name more than Oblivion's side was, and Momo's there. Guess what? This really is looking like the first half, though, because Momo's the first one dead.
You didn't
Momo,
like that, didn't you?
He does not like that, no. At this point in time, I mean, Momo has been pivotal to your survival in the second half right now. He's 7 kills and 10 deaths. Majority of those deaths were in the first half. He had 1 coming out of that first half and stepped up big, 6 in a row, 6 kills in 3 rounds. That's 2 on average. That's a very good play for them, but now Momo gets none here and will unfortunately have to rely on the rest of his squad to get the job done.
Team Arcane knows that there's a mirror window facing the avenue if they want to push. That is through Freezer. So, what are you going to do? If you're the IGL of Team Arcane, you can use those smoke grenades to cover that mirror window to make sure that the defender behind that area doesn't have line of sight. You walk up and melee it, and all of a sudden that pressure point has been alleviated. Well, with E-Box opening up and the majority of Team Arcane starting to isolate themselves over towards the north side of the map, it seems like they're trying to prioritize attack away from those mirror windows. Unfortunately, though, they're just sitting ducks at this point. You have to be activated on the north main stairs. If you just sit, well, you're going to find yourself like Dusty, DB a node.
Candela Scent. Eyes not really removed here. I don't think anyone actually fell victim to them, but Red's somewhat close to maybe falling victim. Now sitting in freezer doorway, trying to peek, very successful in doing so. The Fox to find one. Now gets swing forward. Woos will find the refrag. Evan gets a Nitro. Red following suit with that 416C. And there's just no time to plant the bomb. Falling victim. Okay, interesting jump back. Nails his head on the wall. It's okay. Falling victim to that 30-second last push. Not really the meta anymore. You did see it a lot here. I don't know how much of the major you watched here today, Chief, but it was a lot of teams
CSGO
waiting.
all day.
It was just waiting to the last 15-20 seconds, and that is, can be attributed to the fact that defenses are extremely strong and great at buying time at that level. But this is Oblivion we're talking about, the one that just got 6-0'd in the first half. I don't want to attribute it to them being this vice grip, this lock on that defensive hold. I just want to say Arcane didn't push fast enough and to give them enough wiggle room to actually give themselves a strong and coordinated enough chance to get that bomb down.
You even removed Momo as your opening kill. And it doesn't mean anything for Team Arcane. Honestly, they're just kind of throwing it away. And I think Dusty has jinxed himself with that 6-1 comment at the end of round 7. Because this is just defense wins simulator because offense isn't actually playing the game. It is really Rainbow Six Siege that shouldn't be played. These players are all higher levels, all very competent players, and they're just making odd mistakes. And I just don't see them playing together as a roster today. It just seems like there are just kind of 10 individuals running around, and that's allowing the defense to eat up, get a bunch of kills, and that's allowing the attackers to suffer. Like, again, we were so complimentary of Team Arcane the previous round killing Momo because that was the only time we've ever seen a roam clear. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, if our first roam clear comes in round 10, there's a problem that is going beyond both rosters.
Is it just poor positioning for an attacking team? Because we noticed that a lot with Oblivion. We said that specifically.
It's just really like it's poor positioning, but it's also poor information, and they go hand in hand, right? You put yourself in a bad spot because you don't know where the defenders are, so you might just be what Momo was doing, just trying to swing aggro on one spot when there were multiple roamers there. That's because the drones didn't actually gather enough information on the resources. Same thing can be said here for Dusty when he takes his gunfight. Does he know that there's somebody prone at the top of the white stairs? It's Momo, of course, because why wouldn't Momo be here? And it's critical that Team Arcane actually does some homework in this round. Pretend that you're a high school student, pretend that you're a college student, and actually complete your courses. Because if you complete your courses, and even if you get a D, it's still passing, and that means you win the round.
Passing is passing. That's how we take my college classes as well here, Chief. So, I mean, there's some positives in there, but...
yeah, but I hate myself, and I went for grad program.
Oof, yeah, that's unlucky. That's a bit unfortunate. I hate myself, and we'll probably have to do another semester at this rate, because I'm missing a finals for the fact I'm not allowed on campus because I'm sick. My teacher does not care. Welcome to college, folks, and welcome to the game here,
drone.
Dusty. Please
Momo
gather
was
information.
droned.
There's a drone, and that's also we saw Momo get droned that last round, which is why we saw him get killed. But that's also why we were so ecstatic, so to say, that they found the first kill with that roam clear. It was the first time we saw it, and it was because there was information behind it, because there was drones gathering that, and they had some positions behind it to assist. This time around, though, 2 players dead. They did frag back Momo, but that was just because Momo got slightly overextended. It wasn't really due to information that gave them that sort of advantage. But quick rush inside. Ozone tries to find one. Oh my goodness, still finds Donuts. Will now give them an opportunity to maybe go for the plant here. Ozone is teasing that placement.
There's holes, but not in the right spot. Now Pops can spray since the player who's planting is on low HP. Evan, the true top frag, is the only one left. Forced to find 3. Great positioning this post plant. He won't be able to leave his bombs or to even leave the deployable shield, Scott. That took way too long. all the way up to round 11. It was a 6-0 flawless half for Team Arcane, and they finally conclude. It took them 5 rounds on attack to finally win, but the juggernauts, Team Oblivion, the second rated team in the Rogue Conference, finally falls, and more importantly, Team Arcane is able to win their first play week.
Are these subs no longer subs? Is that what we, what we may be seeing here? Giving them a victory, giving them something that they haven't been able to reach out and grab at all so far? Please no, because that entire game was hectic at best. I think that's the best description we can really get it. No roam clear, no information gathering. When we saw it, we were really ecstatic about it, but we only got to see it once or twice. Otherwise, it was just weird positioning, not enough intel, and gun
Strange.
Yeah, it's
It was just strange. Like I honestly believe this. I don't think both rosters were giving their 110% today. I think on the side of Oblivion, they were just kind of having fun, enjoying their roam, just attacking the map to attack the map. Again, with Momo playing, but also going to his big boy job, I just don't think he has the mental bandwidth to be able to participate seriously in amateur Rainbow Six Siege and actually be a productive member of the real world society. And you know what? Good on Team Arcane. They've been saying that they can't roam and they can't win a single defense, and now they've won 6 defense today. Scott, like always, my friend, it's always a pleasure casting with you, but that's our one and only game today. 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have more games. I think that's you and John tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
So at least you get more UPL action, and hopefully it's more.
Hopefully it's not
spicy or more
this.
serious. Hopefully it's whatever. Not no shenanigans or ejection away. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay safe and well. See you tomorrow.
I noticed I drink a lot of sodas when I'm gaming. Might as well drink something that's good for me. Head over to drinkolipop.com and order your favorite flavor.